Yeah,
All right.
good to hear.
Got it, Ben?
Hey, Randy.
Ben?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So you're live on YouTube now, waiting on us, waiting on a quorum.
Sure.
There we go.
All right, I think everyone's here. So we'll get started. I call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. We'll start with the roll call. Alderman Donahue's here. Alderman Bilotto. Fred?
Here.
Fred's here. Alderman Klinker.
I'm here.
Alderman Alexander.
Here.
And Alderman Johnson.
Here.
All right. All accounted for. I'll have the minutes from this meeting and the next one at our next meeting next week. Public comment. I did not receive any public comment. So moving on, payroll. There's two payrolls. The first is the payroll for the week ending 6/26/2020 in the amount of $343,493.54. Is there a motion to approve this first payroll?
I'll make a motion.
All right, is there a second?
Aye, second.
All right, there being a motion and a second, all in favor of approving?
Kevin, I got a couple of questions.
Oh, sure, I'm sorry, go ahead, Alderman Klinker.
Okay, is Topeka on the line?
Hi, Alderman Klinker.
Hey.
I'm here.
Just a couple, I kind of scrolling through, there's a couple of really high payrolls. Jamie Schultz in the police department and Tommy Padron. They're like $8,557 and $8,768. Any explanation for that?
Yeah, so those are their retirement payouts. Oh, let me take a look. Give me 1 second. Because it could be a residency.
They might be the residency bonus.
Yeah, because I know we did some residency stipends to 2 individuals. If those are the police officers, then that's what that is.
Okay,
And I know that we had also, the payrolls are a little bit higher because we had some retirees.
yeah, I
So
really,
that'll be another, yeah.
yeah,
So
that
if
was
it's
Officer
not the
Ortega.
Yeah, so if it's not the retirees, then it's the residency stipends, because we did have
Okay.
some of those come up to be paid as
Okay.
well.
Then my next question, both the fire chief and police chief are at $6,138.22 when they're normally at $37,42.62. Is there a reason that they're, whatever the difference is, they're $2,500 more?
You said it was how much?
The fire chief and
830?
police chief are at $6,138.22, and their normal payroll, the next payroll, shows them at $3,742.62. So, I mean, I don't have a calculator in front of me, but it's a $2,400 difference. Is there a reason?
Is that the back pay for the raises?
No.
Yeah, we did give them a retro pay, so we initiated their raises in one pay period, then we initiated their retro pay in the next pay period. I can't recall off the top of my head how much their retro pay was, but in this pay period, one of the pay periods in those payrolls was for the retro payment. So it'll be a little bit higher, but I can definitely confirm that for you.
Yeah,
I
if
can't
you could
remember
just
off the top of my head.
shoot me an email or something. Yeah, I just noticed like really high numbers and I was just curious. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
That's-
how we did it and how we've been executing raises is if we gave a person a raise and it had to be retro back in the first pay period, we gave them the raise just so we can do it cleanly. And then in the next pay period, we did the retro. So
Okay.
I'm pretty certain that that's what that is because that's how we broke it out. But I can definitely confirm that for you tomorrow morning.
Great, thank you. That's all I
welcome.
have on that one.
All right, any other questions on this payroll? All right, no, seeing that there's a motion and a second, all in favor of approving the payroll signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed say nay.
Nay.
All right, 4 ayes and 1 nay. Moving on, we have the next payroll for July the 10th, 2020, in the amount of $378,876.29. Is there a motion to approve this item?
I'll make a motion.
All right, is there a second?
I'll make a second.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, I got a question on that one too.
Sure, go ahead, Alderman.
Harrow, the payout on this payroll is $4,065.60. The one from the June 26th payroll is $3,557.40. Is there an explanation on why we're paying an additional $500 more than we paid 2 weeks ago for the guy that's not even working?
I can't remember about Harrow in particular.
Okay.
Making a note. I can't remember about Harrow in particular. I don't remember there being a special circumstance, but I'm sure that there is a reason that I have documented with the payroll clerk, and I can let you know specifically what that's about.
Okay. I just don't understand why there would be a special circumstance for someone that's not even working. I kind of just.
Yeah,
paying it
I honestly,
of the year,
I'm not
you
sure.
know?
I'll have to take a look on that one.
Okay. That's it.
All right, all right, anyone else with any other questions? Nope, all right, seeing we had a motion and a second, all in favor of approving this payroll for July the 10th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Nay.
opposed, say nay.
Yeah, I'm going to be a no also.
Okay, three ayes and 1 nay. The ayes have it.
Two nays. Two nays.
I'm sorry,
Two
2
nays.
ayes, 3 ayes and 2 nays. Sorry, thank you, Dex. There being enough to carry the motion's carried. All right, thank you. Next is accounts payable for July the 8th, 2020, in the amount of $295,886.79. Are there any questions for this accounts payable?
Yeah, I've got a few.
I got questions too. So whoever wants, I'll go for,
All right.
they're easy probably.
Go ahead, Fred.
Override of the budget for board up and the grass cutting. Do we ever transfer money to cover those things?
Yeah, so the way, from my understanding, the way that goes is that we pay it out of the grant account. There's a grant pass-through account, and we expense all of the money out of that account so we could keep a record. And I was talking to Mark Miller. He's the special projects manager of that account, and I was asking him for a master list so I can have a record of what we've paid out and when the money actually comes back in. And he told me that he does quarterly reporting, and he's getting ready to submit a quarterly report to the state to start recouping some of that money. So the dollar amount that you see now is what we've paid up until this point, and we're about to submit a request to receive some of that back.
So is there a dollar amount in the budget now to cover
No,
that?
there's no dollar amount in the budget for that because that's a grant pass-through account. From the way he explained it to me is that that's a grant pass-through account, so there's no way to appropriate for it because they don't know, they can't anticipate how much they're going to be cutting each year for this program, how many things are going to be expensed out of that line. All they can do is post it as the requests come in, and then we submit for the reimbursements. He said that they've never appropriated a dollar amount there in the past.
I seem to remember there's a line item there for that and also for the board up.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I didn't see a line item for that. He said it's always been that way. It has always been recorded that way on the book.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Alderman Bilotto?
No, that's it for right now.
All right, Alderman Klinker,
Yeah, I've got a couple.
questions.
So
Sure, go ahead.
on page 1, Acorn Solutions, $31.47 Harrow versus City of Blue Island. I know that was some type of monthly fee we were paying when we were going through all the Harrow stuff. Is there a reason we're still paying it?
No, so Carrie said that that is the last transaction for a report that we asked for them. And he said, as of this invoice that we're paying this time, that'll be the last time he's ever in the business relationship after this one.
Okay. Page 5, Illinois Department of Employment Security. The first one, finance unemployment, $2,865. Is that for Mr. Marzell?
That is for Mr. Marzell for 2019. We pay it in the rears. So yeah,
Oh.
that is for him.
But I'm not sure if you were here at the time, and Kevin, I don't know if you're gonna remember this or not, but we were told by Carrie that that was a one-shot deal, if you remember that.
Yeah, I thought he got a job again, so we only had to pay the one week.
That's what we were told the last time I questioned this, and I didn't go back and look at all my notes and stuff. But that's what
I
we
think
were
that
told.
that was February or January, I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
and then
so
we
when I
haven't had
took
it-
a look, go ahead, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
We
cut
haven't
you
had
off.
it since then, and all of a sudden it pops up again.
Yeah, so I actually I look at all the invoices, but I looked at that one, and when I was looking at the bill that the state sent us, it said 10/2019 was the period that we were paying for.
Okay, I'm just curious because the attorney told us, because I specifically asked about that one, and I'd have to really dig back and look, that was done. We were done at that point in time, and now we're getting a bill again. So I don't know.
Well, if you'd like, I can go back. We have a file of all the payments that we've made. I can go back and just do a trend analysis and just see, what the trend is for that, and let you know what the periods are for. Because like I said, the one that we put in for this AP run is for 10/2019. Now, for ones prior to that, I'm not sure, but I can look at the periods that they're for, and we could try to connect the dots that way.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because when I went onto the state's website for something else, actually, to renew the liquor license, and we actually did indeed have a balance on there. I saw it before we got the invoice in the mail, and I was talking to the AP clerk about it, and then the invoice came into the mail, and she and I worked together to get the payment entered into the system. So it is a legitimate charge. Yeah.
I'm really not doubting that you have an invoice. I mean, that's not my question. My question is, we were told we were done with it back in February, and here it is July, and we're seeing another bill. I don't want to get hit with another one 3 months from now, 4 months from now. It's aggravating that we were told that was it. We were done with it, and we're not. So yeah, if you could do that, I would appreciate that.
Okay, that's no problem.
The next one I have is for the health inspector, Maureen O'Day. It's on page 6. So we have health inspections on June 11th. I'm assuming that's an invoice date for $1,000, and then on June 12th for $250. So that's $1,250 total. We pay her what, $50 an inspection?
Yeah.
Is that what the agreement was? So she's done.
Yeah, that's what they were.
24, 25 inspections on 2 days. So we had some issues with Maureen's, the way she presented the invoice to us. So we went back and forth with her to give us a better breakdown of her invoices. So she's actually done inspections since February, and she has a list of inspections that she submitted to the department that we have on record, itemizing all the inspections that she's done and the locations and the actual dates. Okay.
So the way that it's coded in there might be a little misleading, and my apologies for that, but we do have an actual ledger that we worked with her to create. So it could just be a little bit more accurate and a little bit clearer on what she was actually doing, because the original one that she submitted didn't pass the sniff test, in my opinion. So we asked her to go back and redo it. And so we do have a record that shows all the inspections that she did if you wanted to see it.
No, that's fine. It was a little confusing. And the last one I had is on page 7, Montana and Welch. So I believe this is one that we held up a while back for a better explanation. Do we have an even better explanation than what's on here? I know, and I'm trying to be fair between law firms, because Odelson and Stark gives us a very detailed, I don't know if you guys get this from Montana and Welch. I mean, it's to the, 15 minutes for this, half an hour for that. Do we have that from Montana and Welch, or is all we're getting this March general telephone conferences, meetings attended, $1,063.75. I'm looking for the more detailed bill if we have that from them, because it's only fair to both law firms.
I'm sorry, Jim, we do have that. They send it every month or whenever they send their invoices in.
Well, that's why the last time I asked to hold up on it, that's why I asked, because I wanted to see what we're spending money on. You know, and if we're having the Odelson and Stirk law firm do it, Montana and Welch should do it as well.
I wasn't at the meeting last time this came up. I'm almost positive without looking at this. I finalized all that cannabis stuff, all those hearings and everything early March. I'm sure this is part of that, which we were having we had 7, 8 public hearings they attended. I don't know if that's part of this invoice, but I know I finalized that early March.
Yeah, it's March ordinances and resolutions. I just would like to see the actual list. That's what I'm saying.
So Topeka, can you put that on the list to make sure you send that to Alderman Klinker, just the detailed invoices?
Yeah.
That's all I have.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I got some questions.
Sure, go ahead, Alderman Johnson.
Is Harry Harmeyer on our payroll?
Harry Harmeyer, yes, in the water department he is.
He's in the water department?
Or Public Works Street Department, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was just wondering why we were sending him to, for that certification with Jim Postal. Okay.
Yes, he's in the water department. Yeah.
Okay,
He's one of the 2 water operators. Him and TJ Hazel.
Yeah, and apparently they get this. It's an annual membership that they do every year for the certification.
Okay. I got a few questions for the Montana and Welch billing. One of them is about these conversations and dealings with Acosta, the lawyer that's supposed to report directly to us, because we're paying them $15,000. They shouldn't have to report to another law firm, and they charge us to report something to us. That's ridiculous. The next thing is that I totally disagree with is payment for doing anything with appropriations. We've never done that before. And I think we got something about golf carts on this. And I wanted to know, why we're, I'm just saying, if they need a few golf carts because they tore up or whatever, to get at least a few. But when we got this COVID thing going on, they're not going to get their maximum amount of people to come golf. So I was thinking about holding off on some of that until we get some more accurate numbers. Quite sure Teddy could.
I don't think there's anything in the accounts payable, Dexter, about golf carts.
Okay.
I think that's a different item on the agenda.
Okay. And I got something else, but it's nothing to do with right now with accounts payable.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions? No. All right. Is there a motion to approve the accounts payable?
I'll make a motion, Bilotto.
Is there a second?
Yeah,
From Klinker. All right. There being a motion and a second, all in favor of approving accounts payable signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
No.
All right. 4 ayes and 1 nay. The motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have Constellation Electronic Agreement for 2 additional accounts.
Yeah, so Constellation is our electricity service provider, and we already have the agreement with them. So what actually is going on right now is that there are 2 invoices that we're receiving directly from ComEd, and those should be bundled in with our Constellation agreement. And so this is really just a formality just to kind of let the committee know for transparency that we're going to add these 2 additional ComEd accounts, so we're no longer going to be getting invoiced directly from ComEd because we're already paying the light bill. It's just that right now it's coming directly from ComEd when we want all of our invoices for electricity distribution to be coming through Constellation. They're our energy provider. So I just wanted to let the committee know that I was going to be signing this contract with Constellation to add those two bills. They're about $20 each, so it's about $40 that we're paying to ComEd directly, when we want all of those bills under our one Constellation contract, because they aggregate all our bills into one. And it's just a lot easier from a payment perspective to have them all under one.
Okay. Any questions regarding this? All right. Is there a motion to approve item D? I'm sorry, Dexter, were you making the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there anyone want to second that
I'll
motion?
second it. I thought I heard a second, but I'll second Bilotto.
Oh, okay. All right. There being a motion and a second, all in favor of approving the Constellation electronic agreement, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, ayes have it, 5 ayes. Thank you. Keep moving on. We have the rodent abatement. We discussed this the last time. I know we talked about moving funds around in the budget. Were you able to identify anything, Topeka, for this item?
Yeah, so I recommend using line item 6695, other contractual services. But I would recommend we do a budget transfer from another line item, but that's the line item that I would recommend that we use for the rodent abatement.
Okay, and then how much is in that 6695? Enough to cover this contract?
So I didn't see a dollar amount. I just saw a proposal for when, like, if they go out. I didn't see, like, from my understanding, when I was looking at the contract, it didn't look like a dollar amount. It just looked like they were quoting us on how much it would be if they went out to service each time.
So there would be enough money in there though to cover the.
Yes, yes,
and
yes, it is. And if not, then I would recommend transferring from, there was one on here, maintenance and supplies, but I would like to do that on an as-needed basis.
Okay. Are there any questions on this item? I know that was the issue that held this up the last time.
No, I like to make a motion, Alderman Bilotto.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second it. And I'll also say it's way overdue. I've been asking this for well over a year, and I'm glad it's getting done.
Right. All right. There being a motion and a second, all in favor of approving the rodent abatement contract, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any nays, say no. All right, ayes have it, 5 ayes. Thank you. All right, next we have a budget transfer request. Topeka, if you wanted to go ahead again.
Yeah, so committee, there have been 7 accidents to date, or 8, I'm sorry, 8 accidents to date with damage to city property. And typically, the cost to repair is ranging at minimum $2,000 at the minimum to repair. So, for example, if someone knocks down a street light, they damage a fire hydrant, then we have to get need out to do the repair. That repair has to be made. There's nothing really that we could do to avoid it. So the account, though, that we are using to do these repairs out of is already over budget by $193. And we have had 8 accidents, and we're at about $26,000 that we owe the company. So I wanted to, just for transparency, let the committee know that I would like to do a budget transfer from one account to the other. The one account has $1.4 million in it, appropriated in it. And I just wanted to transfer $30K to cover the $26,000 in damage to city property that has already occurred already. And to hopefully, if we have any more, I cross my fingers that we don't, if we do have more, we'll already have funds sitting in that account to cover for at least 2 additional incidents if they were to potentially occur.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Just wanted to ask, these invoices are pretty old. Do they send them like every quarter, or are these just old
Yeah, so
invoices that was laying around that just
yeah,
wasn't paid?
yeah. So what happened was, hello? Okay, so what was actually occurring was I didn't actually get on board with the project until late April. Probably at the end of April, I didn't even know what the process was for paying these invoices. So then once I got up to speed, then I started to keep a ledger of all of the accidents that occurred. And once I gathered all my facts, then I was able to see what we actually owed the company. So this is what was owed from prior to my arrival, and then once I got into the swing of what's going on, and now we're just trying to clear it up. So I talked to Meade and I let them know kind of where we're at with it, and they were fine because we have a business relationship with them for other things, and those bills are up to date. But this is just the one outstanding item. These are the outstanding items that we have with them right now.
All
Okay.
right, any other questions? No? All right. Would someone like to make a motion for item F, the budget transfer request?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Bilotto.
All right.
Klinker will second.
Klinker second. All right. Thank you. There being a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right. Ayes have it. Thank you. Next, we have a resolution approving and authorizing a contract with Matrix Telecom LLC, DBA Lingo, to serve as telephone service provider for Blue Island. I believe we did this last time. I think this is just the formal resolution for the full city council agenda. Is that correct, Topeka?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Any questions regarding this? Seeing none, would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, Bilotto.
All right. Anyone like to second?
Klinker.
Klinker with the second. All right. There being a motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
No.
opposed say nay. I'm sorry. Who was the no? Dexter is a no. Four ayes and one no. The ayes have it. The motion's carried. Thank you. Moving on. We have a resolution approving and authorizing amendments to equipment payment schedules between Yamaha Motor Finance Corporation and the city of Blue Island. I believe this is just to extend the payments we make with the golf carts. I don't know if Ted's on the line, but maybe Topeka could just provide a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, so Yamaha is actually deferring some of the payments for us. So this year, instead of our payment schedule starting in May, it's actually going to start in July. So they're actually not going to invoice, and we're not going to receive an invoice from them for services until August for, activity that happened in July. And what they're going to do is they're offsetting the deferment of the payments to next year, 2021. So instead of the contract ending in September, I believe it'll end in October. So that way, they're essentially trying to help us offset expenses that's related to the coronavirus. So that was their way of kind of looking out for us, just kind of deferring the payments off, pushing the payments off for later into the year.
All right. Any questions? No. All right. Is there a motion to approve item H?
Bilotto makes a motion.
Right,
Klinker second. Klinker.
Second. All right, thank you. All right, there being a motion and a second for approval, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay.
Nay.
All right, 4 ayes and 1 nay. The ayes have it, motion's carried. Okay, next we have an ordinance establishing a disaster remote meeting policy. This was going to go to judiciary, I believe, but Chairman Rita had to cancel her meeting for this week, and we need to get this done to codify some recent action in Springfield. I don't know if Terry's on the line to speak more on this, but all this is doing is just putting us in line with some of the Open Meeting Act stuff that was passed during the special session for handling the coronavirus pandemic. All right. Any questions? All right.
Yeah,
Is there a motion? Oh, I'm sure.
Chairman.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So is it any what's trying to be passed? Is it anything different from what we're doing already?
So it was passed in right on Memorial Day, and it set up just some of the rules and regulations. And I think part of that we had to codify our own setup as well as part of the law. And I think that's just all this is doing. So it's just going to continue to allow us to keep meeting as we are.
Until the phase is advanced, right?
Yeah, and until I think it's just during the governor's declared disaster declaration. So whenever that ends, it would just go back to the regular time. So this is just temporary during the pandemic.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Any other questions? All right. So a motion to approve item I.
Bilotto makes a motion.
All right. Is there a second? Annette, Alderman Alexander with the second. All right. All in favor of approving item I signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, guys have it. Thank you. All right, next we have 2020 Blue Island Rain Garden care proposal from Green Plumbing. This is an item. This is for the rain gardens on Longwood Drive. Municipal Services approved this in April, and somehow it just got kind of lost in the shuffle with everything. So we're now just getting around to this. We did something similar last year, so they could be properly maintained and vegetated correctly. So are there any questions on this item?
Alderman Bilotto.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman.
Go ahead, Alderman Bilotto.
I don't know if we've heard anything that for a couple things. This never, if it did go through my committee, I don't remember it ever going through my committee. But second thing, aren't we sodding over these rain gardens? And what's the progress with that? Would we ever hear anything back about that? I know we discussed.
Superintendent Postal, do you know the status of that?
I know there was a letter sent out to MWRD requesting that, but from what I heard, it's going to take a while and it was going to maybe not even be approved. But for right now, I think we're looking for some, light maintenance to be done on those rain gardens. I know that there was some that was like a grant was on some of them, but this one was a different one. The Longwood ones. So
Anything else?
As far as the side goes, it wasn't going to be this year.
Anything else, Fred?
No, that's all I got.
Oh, go ahead,
Alderman
Alderman Johnson.
Yeah, I looked at that. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think it should be resodded because it doesn't even fit the demo of Longwood, especially going across 119th rather, when you go down Longwood that way. There's nothing that even looks like that.
Alderman Dexter Johnson, I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, it would be so much nicer if it was sod, but the problem is that MWRD came in and did the work and they spent a lot of money over there. So they're holding tight to what their program is. So I know that there's a letter that was created from Robinson Engineering sent over to MWRD, the request if we can side these. And I don't know if it's going to go too good in our favor, but because they made the investment there, I know it's really hard for us to just go ahead and plow through it.
Okay, is it any way that we could even speak to like maybe Doran, find out, what they would charge us to do it since we're already paying them for some stuff? Would it help us? You know what I mean?
I just don't want to, I'm not opposed to that. I just don't want to delay this anymore because the longer we delay it, the worse it's going to look out there.
Yeah, because I think this Julia was her name. She's been like maintaining them in the past. She knows what the invasive plants are and which ones that are supposed to be there, and the watering and the cleaning up the grounds there. So I think we already went through the process of trying to identify a contractor.
Has anything been done there yet? I'm looking at this, quote or whatever you want to call it. And has any work been done on them that we know of?
Not that I believe.
No.
Okay, because this says 1 late spring cleanup in May, and then 6 landscape style trimmings beginning in mid-June. We're mid-July already, so.
Yeah, it went through municipal, like Alderman Donahue said, but it kind of like fell off somewhere here.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if we do approve this, that they start this up right away and let's get our, what we're paying for, that's all.
Yeah, I think, again, Mark Miller is the one that was heading up on that, with talking with and getting the contractor. But I think, yeah, it needs to be adjusted a little bit probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's July, I don't know what needs to be done. I'm not a landscape guy, so. Just as long as if we're approving something, we need to make sure that they're doing the work that they're quoting us for.
Yeah.
6 visits, I think it's 7 visits total. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? No. All right. Is there a motion to approve item number J, the rain garden care proposal?
Alderman Bilotto makes the motion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna second it, but I also have one more thing to say. I do remember talking about this before, and I think this was part of the deal when they were installed that we had to do this. That's why I think we approved it last year, if I remember correctly. I mean, that was part of the deal that when these things got installed, that we would pay to have them maintained. So I'm gonna second it, but I also agree with what Alderman Johnson's saying. If we can find something cheaper next year, maybe it'd be a good idea, or maybe this sod thing will come through before then. But so I'll second it.
All right, thank you. There being a motion and a second, all in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
I'm gonna say nay just because it's horrible.
Hey man, I got them other guys.
Thank you.
In the morning.
All right, thank you. All right, 4 ayes and 1 no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. All right, next, I think it's our final item. The next one, the wireless project proposal for the John D. Rita Recreation Center. So what's going on in a week or two, they will be doing census training at the rec center, and they need Wi-Fi capabilities to do that. So that's what this proposal's for. I see Mr. Bob Jackson, our recreation director, is on the line. So if there are any questions, I'm sure he could be a little bit more thorough. Any questions?
Hi, committee. I actually have a question about this. So we're planning on spending $3,000 on Wi-Fi. Are we going to get a return on this investment? Is this something that we will be able to use moving forward, or are we only getting it for the census?
Well, I know it's always been an issue for Bob that he would like to have Wi-Fi so the kids could bring their laptops and there could be more programs offered there, because it's been hard when they've just been stuck to just the router system.
Okay.
So I'm sure this expands the ability of us to do different things down there, because right now they're not able to do any of that.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, Alderman Bilotto here.
Yeah, go ahead, Alderman.
I think anything we can do to support the census, we should do. There's line items in there for this. I know this is something that we need anyway, but we need to get our numbers up. I think the last I checked, we're not even a 50% turn in. So if they want to use this to get more people to sign in, I'm in support.
Yeah, and then again, I think there's a long-term benefit there for the rec center, the people who live in the neighborhood, and the people who use it. So I definitely think it's beneficial and probably long overdue. Anything else?
I'll make a motion. Alderman Bilotto.
All right. Is there a second?
Klinker.
A second.
All right. Alderman Klinker. There being a motion and a second, all in favor of approving item K signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. All right, moving on. Any aldermanic concerns, comments?
Yeah, this is Alderman Johnson. It was, long story short, I guess, it was a neighbor, father passed away right across the street from me, and I watched Chief Rita guys come through expeditiously as they could. And the guy was a little heavy, so they had to wait on the fire truck to come, for an extra person to help him carry him. But just speaking on ALS alone, we're not equipped to even keep these people going, to get to whatever hospital. They did all they could. I watched them myself personally. And I'm just asking to see what can we do to get everybody. I think Chief Rita says about 4 or 5 more guys that need to be, ALS approved. So the whole station could be ALS approved, so we can be able to do the things we need to do to keep people alive. 1, we got this COVID thing going on. 2, we got railroad trucks. 3 is no more metro emergency. So they have to go all the way to Christ or all the way to Ingalls with train tracks. So I'm asking if there's any way that we can move some cash around in order to get these guys certified to be able to have the equipment on the ambulance, so when they pull up, that they can keep somebody going, because seconds matter when you're talking about people's lives.
I'd like to add something to that, if I could, being a former fire chief. I know, and Dex, we can put it on our public health and safety agenda for next Tuesday to ask the chief, because he's worked on it. He's given us some prices back, I don't know, probably January or so. I think it might be more than 4 or 5 guys. I think it was about half at that time, but I know they've had some turnover and some new guys might be medics. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's going to be a fairly healthy expense. I agree with it completely. We need to do this. So I'm going to put that on the agenda for public health and safety, and I'll talk to Chief Dan, and hopefully he can give us a better ballpark idea on total cost. Some of the things to keep in mind are you're going to be paying for the tuition. You're going to be paying for the guys when they go to class. You're going to be paying for guys to replace them. That's what I'm saying. It kind of all adds up. Also, there's additional equipment that's going to need to be purchased. I want to say he told us it was around $750,000 last time we talked about it. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look back through my minutes. And another thing that he said, I don't know, probably March or so, when all this COVID stuff started, was all the classes pretty much shut down. There aren't a lot of paramedic classes left in the area. Back when I started 35 years ago, Ingalls offered 6 or 8 classes of 30-some people every 6 months. Christ did the same thing. There were programs all over the place. The amount of classes and programs have dropped drastically over the years. So it's also going to be a little difficult to get. This is just points that I'm trying to make. I really am not trying to sound like I'm against it. I really am not. So it's going to take a little while to happen, but it's definitely something we need to look into. And I've made a note. I'll add it to the agenda, and I'll talk to Chief and have him get us some, harder number, shall we say, for next Tuesday. I think that's our next meeting. Yeah, next Tuesday is public health and safety. Okay.
Okay, because I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. It's a great idea.
Because you know how much is a person's life, and I'm not just talking about because I'm trapped in between tracks and things of that nature, but for the whole city of Blue Island, somebody's loved one, you know what I mean, to just pass away like that.
Absolutely. It was always in the past. We talked about it numerous times when I was on the fire department, and the general thinking at that time was we had the hospital right in our backyard, so we didn't need it.
Right. Right.
It's a different story.
Exactly. Right. And I don't know if some of us should try to reach out, because I know they had made it per se like a COVID veteran type of place, but wondering if they could utilize the emergency room for citizens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what that would involve, to tell you the truth. So.
Right.
But I'll add it to the agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Anything else? Any other comments, concerns?
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Topeka,
Yes, I'm here.
back in late June, I asked you for the second quarter revenue and expense report. You said you'd be getting it out soon. Can we get that? Could
Yes.
all y'all get that?
Yeah, so what I mentioned to you is that I was still doing some entries. We were
Right.
posting some cash collections for some sales that were going on. And there were some other entries that I needed to make before I wanted to send it out to you all, but I can send it. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit more than what was recorded. So,
That's fine. I'm
but I
just
can
trying to,
still show it as of 6. I can still run the report and show it as of Q2 end though.
yeah, that'd be good. I think we all need to keep a real close idea on things and you know, whatever you got, I'd love to take a look at it.
No
I'm
problem, no problem.
Thank
And one other thing I wanted to mention, when you all were saying with the ALS, I don't know what the capital costs are for us to get that, but I know it would be good for the village because then we can increase our medical billing. You know, when we do the ambulatory, when we have ALS, the fee is a little bit higher. So it would be good for us in the long term. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Great, thank you. All right, anything else? No, all right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Bilotto, motions, seconded.
Klinker with the second. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 All right, we stand adjourned until next Monday at 6 p.m., July the 20th, 6 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll see everyone tomorrow for City Council.
Sounds good.
All right, bye-bye.